Good morning everyone, it's Dave here from davestravelpages.com and it's February 3rd, 2018 and the loaded bike behind me indicates that I'm going on a mini bike tour. It's just for 2 days. I'm going to start and finish on my doorstep literally here in Athens, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle into the historic centre of Athens, show you a couple of sites around there, and then pedal down to the coastline, follow the coastline along to a place called Cape Sounion and the Temple of Poseidon. Then I'm going to stay in that area for the night and then continue form a loop along the coastline and then back to my house here in Athens. So as always, I'll give you some clips from the road and I will speak to you in a bit. So cycled down to Syntagma Square, and opposite Syntagma Square are the Houses of Parliament, and it looks like I've just missed the changing of the guard, which is at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in front of the Parliament House. You can probably just see the guy by the box there moved into position. I've got a better video of this on my channel actually, which I took on New Year's Day 2017, which you might want to check out. So what I'm going to do is cycle down the hill, show you a few of the sights of Athens. Look at the pigeons, they love a bit of it. So I've just cycled down to the start of the pedestrianised section, and that is the Arch of Hadrian, or Hadrian's Arch, who was the Roman emperor who came through here. And behind that, not sure if you can see it, well you can't really, but you can take my word for it, there's a very impressive temple called the Temple of Zeus. And Hadrian built his arch because, if we go around the corner, leads up there towards the Acropolis, which is just there. And we're going to get a better view of that because I'm going to cycle round on the pedestrianised path now. As you can see, it's a little bit wet today, but never mind, can't have everything. So there we have the Acropolis, and I can't believe how empty the street is. It's about 9:30 at the minute and it's a Saturday, and in the summer, even at 9:30 in the morning, this would be absolutely heaving with people, but there's virtually no one here. It's great. So if you're just into like city trips, I'd say definitely visit Athens in the quieter months, definitely sort of spring. The weather's a little bit more unpredictable now, I guess. So what this road does, this road follows the, it goes around the Acropolis, and I'm going to follow that and then join up with a place called Technopolis, and then there should be a bike path to the coast, hopefully. So I will talk to you from there. So here's one of the lesser visited archaeological sites in Athens, and this is the Kerameikos cemetery. And to be fair, one of the reasons that it's less visited is that it doesn't look as spectacular as places like the Acropolis or the Temple of Zeus, because what you're left with really is little more than these sort of semi-walls. But once you get in there, it is actually a lot more interesting than you think it might be. Let me try and get between the bars. Because what you find is that there's parts of the city defensive wall. A river flowed through here, and actually where I'm standing right now, you can see this green section here. That's where the river flowed. A river flowed all the way through there. And when you walk down there, you can actually hear the water flowing underneath. The blocks over here, you can see here, that's part of a city wall and gates. So it gives you a better idea of what the city looked like, and within there are also burial mounds, some of which date from classical times and others which date from a lot earlier. And I believe, now don't quote me on this, that people would have been buried just outside the gates of the city, so that when people visited, they would walk past the graves of heroes. So I will continue cycling along this this path, and then the next place I'm heading for is Technopolis. So I'm here inside Technopolis, and there's a few reasons why I brought you here. Firstly, this place was a gasworks originally, and it was derelict for a while. So what they've done is they've created something like, it's a combination of things. So it's kind of a museum. So as you can see here, there's a museum route, and that takes you around the gasworks, and that's actually pretty interesting. They also rent out rooms for different events, and it looks like today there is some sort of vinyl record market. But this changes all the time, and all sorts of events get held here. But the other reason I brought you here was for the bike hire. Now, Athens, it must be said, has probably got one of the worst cycling infrastructures of any major European city. And I didn't actually know that there was a bike hire scheme until a few months ago. And there's probably a reason for that, is that nobody actually knows it's here. So there's some bikes for hire here in Technopolis, which isn't the most frequented place by visitors who maybe are just here for 1 or 2 days and just want to see the old historic stuff. But it looks like you can take the bikes out. Now the question is, of course, where can you actually take the bikes? Well, you can probably cycle around the bit that I did in the historic centre, and there is also another bike path which takes you to the coast, hopefully, which is what I'm going to be following in a bit. But I think I should probably do a piece about the Athens bike hire and maybe give it a bit more prominence, because obviously if no one knows it's here, no one's going to use it, and then no one's going to invest any more money in bike hire schemes, are they? So I suppose I could do my little bit by sharing it. Anyway, from here I will now head towards the coast. I'll catch you in a bit. Hi there, so it turned out to be quite a nice bike path in the end, and I'm down towards the coast now, and you can probably see the boats behind me moored up, maybe, but you can see the big boat there. That's actually a museum ship as well. So I'm going to follow the coast along now towards Cape Sounion, and I'm probably going to stop in a taverna on the way for lunch, because it's getting about that time, you know what I mean? So I thought I'd make it right down to the sea as far as I could, and I think this is about as far as I'm going to get. As you can see, the waters are a little bit choppy out there. There's another load of water going over the wall. I'm going to be going up in that direction up there. Here's another bike scheme I didn't know anything about. See what it says. Instructions on to how to get a bike and return a bike. Ah, there we go, there's a website, alimos.easybike.gr. I'll have to remember to check that out at some point. And it looks like there is some form of credit card system to pay with, which is over here, and it seems to be working. Although all you can see is my reflection, so that's not very good. I might have to come down here and check this out again one day. So the thought being that maybe if there are some bikes hired, or bikes for hire, Maybe there's a bike path somewhere, but I don't know. So this one here ends just abruptly in front of me, and there's a little park here. I'm going to try and go down there and turn to the left and see if it follows the coast. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi there, so it's 3:15 in the afternoon, and I'm not sure if you can hear me because of the wind, but you can see what it's doing to the waves there, and that's having quite an effect as I cycle down the road. So I think I've got about another hour of cycling left to get to the meeting point. I'm staying in an apartment tonight, and I've got to phone the guy up who owns it sort of like a couple of minutes before I get there, so he's going to come over with the keys and let me in. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the temple for the sunset or not. So most people head for the Temple of Poseidon to see the sunset. I've been there a couple of times. If I get there for the sunset, that's great. If not, I'm just going to go and see it tomorrow morning instead. So the sight of my panniers and the water bottles there in a room indicates that I've finished the day's ride. 77 kilometres in the end, and I've ended up in a village which is near to Cape Sounion. I didn't actually visit the site of the Temple of Poseidon today for the sunset. I have seen sunset there before, so what I'm going to do instead is spend an hour there tomorrow morning, just wander around the site and see it in daylight for a change. This little room here, let's take you back a little bit. So this little room here is €45, and you get a little bit of coffee. It's got somewhere to cook, so I'm going to make myself some pasta in a bit. It's got the bed there, little bathroom in there. I'm going to have a much needed shower in a bit, and a little patio area. See those lemons on that tree? They look very tempting. I think I'm going to have one of those in some water tomorrow morning for breakfast. And over there, you can probably just make out the sun setting behind the mountain. It looks like I'm probably going to miss the glory of a sunset, but I think this is a pretty nice location anyway. Look at that. So there we go, that's the first day over with, and tomorrow I'm going to, like I said, head up to Cape Sounion and then follow the coast a little bit and then cycle back home. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in day 2 of this bike tour. Cheers for now.